Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. Right, so we're gonna make this quick because our new style is streaming, and I don't want to be, stepping on the brother's toes. So let's hurry up and knock this out. So, would you date a bus driver? Missy Yana Van Zant says. Right, so she's speaking to the young lady. I forgot the young lady's name. Was she on Sports Center or whatever? That's that lady, right? That tried to show up Stephen A. Smith, right? Isn't that the same lady? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Right, we're speaking about the same lady, right? So yeah, and I the lady said that she has dated all the different men, and yeah, and look at what Iyanla Van Zant was able to gather from her, right? Leon said you got to count down so people could get in here, right? And talking about that, y'all give me 1 second. Talking about that, 1 second, 1 second. All right, we're back. We're back. Okay, yeah. So and then somebody put down the young lady's name again. There we go. Malika. Thank you, Malika. You already know. Thank you, Philip. Thank you. Right. Thank you. Save me because I remember like her name kind of floating around because of all the stuff. What it was last year or earlier this year? Last year, I think that was last year. Yeah. So yeah, but okay. Thank you, Malika. So Iyanla Van Zandt is speaking to Miss Malika, and yeah. So you know, would you date a bus driver? And you saw the look on her face. You saw that smug look on her face. By the way, for those of you that don't know, the link is in the description. It's a really short video, so you can watch it and come back. Um, yeah. So I was searching for the actual full video to give it even more context, but we already know how this goes. I don't know if we even really need more context, right? Um, Apparently they were speaking about how women are you know kicking ass, and how men are falling behind, and Missy Olive Van Zant pretty much said, like, we got to rethink this relationship thing. And you see certain women, particularly older women, saying that, and like the younger women, and when I say younger, I don't mean young necessarily, I mean just women that are younger than the women that are saying these type of things. They're like, yeah, no, no, right? Because they can't hear it. They're living the consequences of their delusion, and they still can't hear what people are saying, right? They're living the consequences of their delusion, and yet, regardless, they can't hear what men and women are saying, right? They can't hear it. So Iyanla Van Zant was telling, like, you might have to rethink this thing. And when Miss Evant, excuse me, when Miss Iyanla, or Van Zant, I should say Miss Van Zant, when Miss Van Zant asked, Miss Malika this question, you saw the smug look on her face. The answer is no. She couldn't date a bus driver. What did she say? Once again, rest in peace, Kevin. Well, if he owned the bus, can you date a man that makes $42,000 a year? Well, if he's working towards something, a bigger goal, or if he has business plans, or if he's this, or if like, y'all think I'm joking, and I'm not trying to be homophobic. I really, it's not a joke, and I am not attempting to be homophobic. Tell these women, then go eat vagina then. I mean it. And that's not coming from a homophobic place. No. If men, because remember, this young lady, Miss Malika, says she's dated them all, right? So this is regardless of race. So if you dated just a smorgasbord of different men of different races, and you find them lacking, then guess what that means? Either the men that you find appealing are married, so you need to, once again, like I've said, advocate for polygamy, or you need to stay single with your rose toy, or enter some same-sex relationship. I meant it the way I said it. I wasn't joking when I said it. I've been saying this for a while now. I meant it. If all of these women are dating men, right, of varying races, they're having sex with men of varying races. But when it comes to relationship, right, serious relationship, potential marriage, marriage on the table, they find men lacking. Well then, right? Y'all wonder why so many black women are same-sex loving. There you go. And Richard Reeves even spoke to that a little bit, right? You wonder why so many women are same-sex loving. So many black women in particular are same-sex loving. That contempt for men is real. Did you hear me, FD Signifier? You think half of these women, bro, when I posted that in my community chat, check my community chat, the screenshot I have of the comment of Brother Sid on Twitter. Studs are to black women what he didn't say, you know, but I'll just rephrase it a little bit. What heavy set white women are to black men. A last ditch hope at faking happiness. Right? So shout out to you know, Medium Man. And by the way, the link is from Medium Man, excuse me. And shout out to that brother for capturing that. I'm searching for it everywhere so I can get a full context of the conversation between Miss Iyanla Van Zandt and Miss Malika. Right? So do these people really mean female empowerment and feminism? No, they don't. Right? Train tracks, train tracks, train tracks. No, they don't. Because it's really a exercise in class. They want to be chocolate dip women that are really white elite men. It's a class exercise. They want the corner office jobs when they're working, right? They want the six-figure plus career path. But when you tell them what that might mean for their dating and mating and marriage life, once again, they jump out the window. Hell no. They jump off the train. They didn't sign up for that. All right, then be single. Then be single. Right? The 2/3 of men, their income never eclipsed $65,000 a year. 1/3 of men hit $100,000 once in their life. Or was it less than that? It might have even been less than that. Sorry. 2/3 of men never hit $65,000 a year or more. Right? The median income for men is what? Something like 45 something $1,000 a year, 45, 48, something like that. Varying numbers. Sometimes I see 30 some odd thousand. Sometimes I see 40 some odd thousand. Either way, you're not dealing with men that's earning $75,000 a year plus. And that's regardless of race, by the way. Right? But Miss Malika, yes, she's part of the elite class. She's not unattractive. She's not the most attractive woman in the world, but she's not unattractive. And she earns a substantial amount. We already know she has a bunch of different things going on in mainstream media, all over the place. Cool. And she never actually stopped to think about what that means for her dating life and her marriage life. Lady, if you even struggling with the white dudes, because if you say you didn't have them all, I'm not even going to get into the sexual element of that. If you said you didn't dated them all, cool. You didn't have them all right, that's cool, right? Cool. Then deal with the consequence. It's like let me say it clear. The women wanted the position. They wanted the money. They wanted the middle management jobs and the elite jobs. They wanted the six-figure career path. They wanted the title. They wanted all of that. They wanted all of it. And they still want a man that's on that same air quotes level or above. No, Mr. Richard Reeves, it's not about, they just want to see that you have your ish together. No. And all of y'all should be ashamed that y'all actually take the women at face value. They're lying. I'll say it to their face. That's the beauty of all the online dating statistics. It's showing that they're lying. The articles are showing that they're lying. Unattractive men are leading to economically leading to a downturn in marriage. What you think that's about? 40% of women earn more than their male counterparts. All of a sudden, we got an issue getting married and dating. Wow. Go figure. Right? The women don't mean none of that stuff they saying. They don't mean any of it. Right? And excuse my background. I know I'm somewhat of in dead area right now. Some of the stuff I'm probably going to have to repeat. Give me a second. Right. Let's try to get out of this dead zone. And then we will continue in a minute. Right. Hopefully I'm out of the dead zone. I think I am. All right, let's start back. All right. So yeah, so they once again the internet will expose us all. If it wasn't for the internet, if you didn't catch this live, then you wouldn't see it. Maybe there would be a 1 or 2 reruns of it, and that would be it. Right? So what you have is a legitimate elder, and we have our issues with Iyanla Vanzant, but okay. Every once in a while, Iyanla Vanzant will say something to these ladies, and this is their reaction. Look at her face. Look at Malika's face. Look at her face. Her face said everything. She didn't have to say anything. Her facial expression said everything you needed to see. The disgust on her face. She was disgusted. That little snooty look on her face. I want y'all to FD that. See, FD, you was with your lady since you were 21. Thank goodness for you, because this is what everyday men have to deal with. Right? Your regular, smegular, everyday brother, this is what they have to deal with. Come on, man. Right? I'm sorry, y'all. Somebody retarded in traffic. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. Right? But yeah, so this is what they have to deal with. I'm back. So if this is the dating landscape, then of course your sons are dropping off. Because yes, Malika is, an elite woman because of her financial status, right? And her exposure in society and whatever, et cetera, et cetera. But once again, this is what a lot of men, your average men, are dealing with. I want you to understand, Miss Malika represents more than just her class position. Your average black man, this is what he's running into. Right? This is what your average black man is running into. Right? And that's why we sound the way we do, by the way. Shout out to you, brother FD Signifier. You want to know why the people, the men, young black men sound the way they do? This is why. Right? This is why. Right? And I'm sorry for my background, you guys. I'm sorry for the pauses. But yeah, so Miss Malika's facial expression, the fact that Iyanla Vanzant asked her a straight up question, you know, and it sucks that we didn't get to see the whole um video. I'm going to look for it. I'm going to scour the internet. I'm going to go on the Grio's website. I'm going to try to find the whole thing because I really need to put this. I really need to see this in context. We already kind of know what this looks like, right? And I'm almost certain I don't need context. I'm pretty sure that what I'm saying now will stand, but just in case, right? Just in case. But you see what it is. You see the look on her face. That's the look. And as I was saying, shout out to the brother FD Signifier. Shout out to Conscious Lee. Shout out to Foreign Man from a Foreign Land. All of you brothers who act like this is not what black men are dealing with. And I want to be very clear. Not just divestors, not swirlers, not no. These brothers are dealing with this across the board, from your hotep sisters to your everyday regular run-of-the-mill black woman, college educated, not college educated, all up and down the class spectrum. As Miss Malika said, she said that too, by the way. She said that too, by the way. Right? This is what young men are dealing with. This is the dating scene. Right? And shout out to Better You. And Better You said, you got it backwards, Z. Men at that level not dealing with these type outside of maybe making them Ashley Smashly outside of making them Ashley Smashly hysterical. Right? But yeah, bro, I hear you. But these people are the worst. And we're supposed to make wives out of these, Steve Harvey? These are who we're supposed to make wives out of? You saw the look on her face? What else? I could just end it right there. What else do you have to know or hear or see? Look at the look on her face when Iyanla was speaking to her. Look at that smug ass look on her face. Could you date a bus driver? Yeah, well, if he owns the bus. I guarantee you, at the end of Iyanla's soliloquy, after everything she said, well, if he loves his mom and if he loves driving the bus, I guarantee you she didn't budge an inch. But okay, let's say she did. Okay, for argument's sake, let's say she did. Let's be honest, she just cop and please because Iyanla's in front of her. You want to know why so many of your daughters ain't coming home with no man? I said it before. 4 or 5 Thanksgiving dinners in a row. Your daughters, your granddaughters, your nieces still ain't coming home with no man. Right? You want to know why? This is why. Yes, Steve Harvey, these are the women that you're telling us that we ain't stepping up for. These women. With the smug look on their face. So what was the point of your, let me get this right. So the point of the education and the status and the money was for what now? So you could look down on the 85% of men because you swear you're going to be with the top 10, 15, 5, 1, 0.1% of men? Because if it's not those guys, then everybody else is invisible, right? Then deal with the consequences. As I said before, go enter some same-sex loving relationship. Go be the side chick for some married dude, hoping that one day he divorces his wife or his wife passes. Or be single with your rose toy. Those are your options. And by the way, women like this don't ever come. They don't have an epiphany, bro. They do not have an epiphany. They never come down. if they gotta settle, if life is kicking, if that loneliness is kicking them in the rear end that tough, and they air quotes have to settle, who wants to be her husband? Let's say you a 80 grand a year dude. All right, you a 75, $70,000 a year dude. She finds you attractive enough. She air quotes settles for you. Do you really want to deal with her? Which one of y'all want to take her on? Oh, her name is not Malika. My bad. What is her name? Right. What is the young lady's name? If I'm saying it wrong, what is her name? Right. If my apologies, y'all. If her name is her name is Ebony. See, I've been saying the wrong name the whole time. Right. Ebony K Williams. Is that her name? Right. My apologies if I've been saying this young lady's name the wrong name the whole time. My apologies to the young lady. Right. You know what I didn't get wrong though? Assessing that smug ass look on her face, that I didn't get wrong. Might have got her name wrong, but that look on her face is everything. At this point, she's just another Bye Felicia. Right. And for those of you that don't know what I'm referring to, link is in the description. It's short. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out. It's about a minute long, maybe a minute and a half long, maybe 90 seconds. Right. Description. It's a video that Medium Man captured of the young Van Zant speaking to this young lady. Right. So her name is Ebony K Williams. My apologies. My apologies to the young lady. I've been saying Malika the whole time. For 20 minutes. Right? Ebony K Williams. My apologies. Why I kept on saying Malika. Somebody said put Malika in there and I didn't remember her name, so I went with it. Right? But I'm almost certain I've seen her before, right? We've seen her before. My apologies to you, Miss Ebony. But that look on your face, though. That look on your face still stands. My assessment of the look on your face still stands, though. That smug look on your face. And like I said, this lady, which one of y'all gonna take her on? It gotta be one of you baller dudes. Regular men don't got nothing for her. Right? Shout out to you baller dudes. One of y'all gotta take her on because nobody else can. Right? And you know, when like I said, rest in peace to Kevin Samuels. We saw this night after night on Kevin's show, right? Night after night on Kevin's show, you saw this over and over again. Can you deal with a man that's earning 40-something thousand dollars a year? Well, yeah, but you know he got to be upwardly mobile and he got to be doing this, and yeah, if he got bigger dreams and bigger aspirations, and Iyanla Van Zant, a year later, a year after Kevin's passing, just about, right? 1 year later, can you be with a bus driver? Well, if he owns the bus, well, there you go. What else y'all got to hear? Right? Y'all give me a second. Y'all give me a second. Right. What else y'all got to hear? How often do we have to hear this? If he owns the bus, if he owns his own business, if he's aspiring for more, if he's not settling, if he has dreams and aspirations, translation, he gotta be like always hustling and bustling and moving and work yourself to death for them and their delusion. Lady, you already make the money. You're the famous one. You already make the money and you are the famous one. What else do you need? So, in other words, these women ain't signing up for their end of the bargain. They want the old they want the old social contract when it comes to their individual men. Their in the men that they potentially may end up with, their husbands and boyfriends. So we want feminism, but not quite, right? Mr. Richard reads, these are the second order effects that you were speaking about. These are the second order effects. We want feminism, but not exactly. Kind of, sort of feminism, but not exactly. We want female empowerment right up until it's time to get married. Right? We want equal pay for equal work right up until it's time to get married. Right? Right up until it's time to get married. Then, my husband, no, I don't want to be equal to my husband. Maybe in the power of the house, but definitely not in who the income of the house, right? Not in who contributes to bills. Nope. I don't want it. Right? Alexa, cue up just countless women telling Kevin Samuels, well, who wants to be with average anyway? I would rather be single. Cue up just countless women saying, I would rather be single. I would rather be single. I would rather be single. Right? And there you go. Right? I told y'all, months ago, I was in Sulcus Ray comment section, and I tore the chat apart by the simplest thing in the world. All I said was the median household income in America is $67,000 a year, and it's just tore the chat apart. I tore the chat apart with that simple ass comment. And it's just women after women in her live chat. I can't deal with that. I'm not selling for that. All right then. No. I have it wrong. I said the median income for men was like $38,000 a year. One of her subbies that, is one of her big subbies looked up the median household income and said, oh yeah, the median household income is 67. So I guess he's right. And it tore the chat apart. Right? And Kareem says, OMG, oh my God, just saw the clip on IG and thought of you, Mr. Z. Right? And thank you very much. Thank you for the thought, Kareem. Thank you for the thought. Right? Hey, Kareem be having all the info. And Kareem says Ebony froze her eggs and currently looking for a sperm donor. Bruh. Raj, where you at? I told you, Raj. I said it to Raj years ago. It had to be like 3-4 years ago. I told Raj. It had to be like 3 years ago at this point. Yeah, like about 2-3 years ago. I told you they think they doing something slick by freezing their eggs. They're gonna be insufferable. They're gonna be holding out for the super ballerific dude. And they're gonna freeze their eggs. Right? And they're gonna freeze their eggs. Look at her. Kareem, you probably didn't hear me earlier. I was saying, look at her face when Iyanla was speaking to her. Look at her face. That smug look. When Iyanla was like, would you be with a bus driver? Would you date a bus driver? And the look on her face. Well, if he owned the bus, what else y'all gotta know? Who gotta say? Nobody gotta say anything else. The look on her face said everything. She didn't have to open her mouth. Right? And y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. She didn't have to open her mouth. The look said everything. And this is who Steve Harvey wants us to break ourselves for. Right? This. And I just want to make sure we all know she represents more than just her class position. I'm going to continue to say that. It's not just because she's doing well in life and she's elite and all that other stuff. Right? None of that. And y'all give me a second. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. Give me 1 second, everybody. All right, we're back. We're back. We're back. Right? So yeah, so look, y'all putting me on game right here. Came from a single mother, right? What Kareem said, came from a single mother. T713 says she's turning 40 this year, right? Spain Man, thank you very much. Let me shout you out then. Let me shout you out right now. And Spain Man says replay gang on this one, just dropping in, right? And thank you for the super chat once again. Look, like I said, I'm not here to beat up on her too much. I just want to use her as an avatar, as an example of what young men are dealing with. This is who young men are going on dates with. This is who's doing foodie calls, right? This is who's standing you up because the other dude told her they're going to a nicer restaurant. Miss Ebony K Williams, this is who men, black men particularly, but men are dating. This is who, right? And so when we beat up on our sons, when we chastise them for not getting married, for not having children, right? When we pretend like all we're doing is critiquing them when really we're beating up on them for not marrying Miss Ebony K Williams. And once again, my apologies for calling her Malika. I thought it was Malika Andrews. My apologies. It's Ebony K Williams. My apologies. Right? And I'm not trying to beat up on her. I just want to use her as an example so that we can understand that. So you have a black woman speaking to another black woman about the environment, about what's going on, and they apparently, because once again this is somewhat out of context. And Kareem, if you don't mind, put the link for the video that you saw in it could even be in this description, but I mean it could even be in this box, but put it in the comments, right? So that I can see it, because you were saying you saw it on IG. So maybe I'll come back and do a part 2 to this, because I really want to see this conversation in context. I was scouring the interwebs looking for it. I couldn't find it. Well, I didn't really scour. Let me not exaggerate. I looked around for a little bit and couldn't find it. Right. But yeah, so you have this black woman, older black woman, elder, right, speaking to a younger black woman, maybe not a young black woman, but a younger black woman, and you know this like never happens. So for one of the rare times a black woman presses another black woman and says, "Well, would you date a a bus driver?" And the look on her face was like, "Yeah, nah." And there's nothing wrong with that. But then eat all of the consequences, right? Eat all of the consequences. And that's not black men's fault. Whatever the consequences, and when I say consequence, the outcome, maybe I should say outcome. That doesn't have that like kind of negative tinge to it. Whatever the outcomes for your decisions are, that's the outcome, right? Whatever the outcome is, that's the outcome. So if you wouldn't date a bus driver, then I mean you wouldn't date a post office worker. Once again, nothing wrong with that. Maybe someone lower level, white collar, even. Okay, right. And Kareem says, and thank you for the super chat, sis. And Kareem says, on the Revolt show with Remy Ma, she was engaged. I don't know what happened to that relationship. Look, once again, rest in peace again to Kevin. What was another trope that continued on his show? Well, I was engaged. Have you ever been? Are you married? Have you ever been married? Well, I was engaged. I've been engaged. I've been engaged twice. I've been engaged. I've been proposed to. I've been proposed to. Bro, the man been dead for like a year, bro. They ain't learned nothing. Not a thing. Y'all hated this man, and y'all are literally living the tropes still to the T. Y'all didn't budge a centimeter. Forget an inch. Not a centimeter. Right? Not a centimeter. And Gender Warlord, thank you very much for the Cash App. Right? God. And like, by the way, this is not just like, so we talk about this gender warring between black men and black women and overall men and women in American society. This is not just a pop culture thing. This is not just cultural and whatever. No, this affects your economy. It affects politics. It affects your social structure. All of it. Right? And Karine also says it was in the griot. I'll also put the clip where she said she get a sperm donor. Bruh. Hey, I I am not about look, I don't I'm not about denigrating women, dating, mating. Like, look, the biological imperative is real. I can't tell you who to want, and even if I could, I wouldn't. I am just here to say, hey, you know how this is gonna probably turn out for you, right? You know what this look like, right? I just want to make sure that you know, so that if and when it happens, you don't get to play damsel in distress. You don't get to play plausible deniability. You don't get to play like you didn't know. Nobody told you. You just were looking for love. You were just looking for love and you just couldn't find the man because men and black men and no. Right? So here we clearly see, right, Miss Ebony K Williams and I keep on not finishing this thought. Let me say it again. So you have a elder in Iyanla Van Zant, and now y'all see why she don't have her show no more and all of that. You have an elder speaking to someone who could possibly be her daughter's age, right? And pretty much saying like, "Hey, you look at your situation. Look how much more and look how successful you are. Okay, you might have to consider something different when it comes to men." And Miss Ebony K Williams wasn't having it. She couldn't hear it. Well, once again, your options. Be single, have your rose toy, or something, you know, akin to that. You know, go advocate for polygamy or be comfortable being the side chick to a married man, right? Or consider same sex relationships, right? There you go, right? And Mr. Z does not say that to be funny. This is not about mocking and making fun of women, black women specifically. You know, sometimes I poke a little fun, but I like, okay, completely stripping any type of, joke or pun or, any comical element out of this. If you think you're better than your male counterparts that's out here, that's single, then really, what else are your options? Let's strip. Okay, Mr. Z's not trying to make fun. I'm not trying to be funny or sarcastic or anything. What else are your choices and your options? You think you're better than so many of the single men. The men that are available to you, whether white, black, Latino, Asian, or otherwise, what you're saying is that they're not up to par. All right, cool. The men aren't up to par that are single. So you either have to find a way to get a married man to divorce his wife and marry you, or you can be the side chick to said married man, or you can help to join some group and lobby the government to make it legal for polygamy to be legal once again. So there's that. Your other choice is to possibly open up your options to, LGBTQ type relationship, intimate relationship. Your other choice, if you're not interested in that, is to remain single and, have other ways of pleasuring yourself, or once again, you can be single, but have some type of situation with the opposite sex or maybe even the same sex, right? If you're better than your male counterparts that are single, then these are your choices. And that's Mr. Z in full-blown seriousness. That's not sarcastic. That's not trying to poke fun. That's not trying to be witty or funny. No. Right? And thank you for the super chat, Victor Creed. And Victor Creed says, they will always play damsel in distress, bro. And I understand. Like I said, I saw the smug look on the young lady's face. Okay. Right? And better use is they can buy a cat, a dog, or a parrot. They might need all three. They need the dog because dogs are always on you, right? They go where you go, so they can feel that constant love. They need the cat because cats are rude as hell. Cats do what they want to do, how they want to do it, kind of imitate them. And they need the parrot because they want somebody to keep on telling them the same thing they think to themselves. They need somebody to parrot what the hell be coming out their mouth. So the parrot could say the same thing they say, be like, yeah, ain't I right? Yeah, you're right. There you go. They need all three: the teacup dog, the cat, and the parrot. Right? You know, between all these clips, once again, the internet will expose us all. These clips that are pouring on the internet, how, wherever all the feminists are, wherever all the social designers and technocrats and are, right? Wherever all the Steve Harveys hang out, right? Wherever all the Tariq Nasheeds, and these women ain't messing with y'all because y'all corny. Yeah, we're corny. That's why Miss Ebony K Williams sound the way she sound, right? That's why she looked the way she looked, with that smug look on her face, right? Wherever all of you different people are, Exhibit A. All you men, including you white men, because I originally was gonna do a review of one of Sarge Willie Pete more recent videos, speaking about class and labor and whatnot. But we could tie all of that into this Exhibit A. And I like I said before, I'm going to continue to emphasize this. This is not just women, black women of Malika. Excuse me. I wanted to say Malika again. Jeez. This is not just women, black women of Ebony K Williams class that sound like this. It may not be all black women. It may not be all American women, but a significant amount, enough to hurt your society. Right? And on that note, we just passed the 45-minute mark a little while ago. I don't want to belabor the point too much. I know Art New Style is also streaming. That's all I had to say, everyone. My apologies, Miss Ebony K. Williams, for calling you Malika earlier. My apologies. That not trying to be funny. But the young lady, I find her, she's not an unattractive woman. She's not an unattractive woman. And clearly she's upperly mobile. She's doing her thing. She's on the griot. You know. But hey, this is it. She represents so many black women. So many black women. Right? That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. You can't see the forest through the tree. You're the one with the money. But once again, like Chris Rock told us years ago, ain't nothing drive the vagina more than them opening their wallet. So they get these positions. They're earning six figures. They easily can retire, with a few $1,000,000 in the bank or whatever. But they get into these positions and then they still want a man even higher. They don't even understand how rare they are. Like, not to blow up their head, not to, make their ego even larger. But like, do you understand? Okay, if you're earning $250,000 a year with all your gigs, or $300,000 all together with, do you understand like the super slim position you occupy on this planet, even in America? Right? Do you understand how small of a sliver, if you're earning $250,000, $350,000 a year, do you understand how small that group is? And then you're looking for a man to match you or above. You are the breadwinner. Own that. You are the primary breadwinner. That's probably how it's going to be. Own that. So you could either do one of two things: stay single, or if you hell bent on pretty dudes, go find you the chisel chin Tyrone or Brad and pay his way through life. The six-pack white dude or black dude with the chisel chin, You can meet some of them that earn 80, 70 grand a year. He don't got to be a bum, or he doesn't have to be a dude that's earning 40 grand a year, 30, 35, right? But you're probably going to be the primary breadwinner by a distance. Not by no 10, 20, 30,000. No. If you earning a quarter million plus, $200,000 plus a year, 300, 350. Oh yeah, your man is probably barely going to be making 100 if you're lucky. Try 70, 80, chisel chin, six-pack dude. Maybe younger than you. What did y'all expect, ladies? That lets you know a lot of these feminists coming out of second wave feminism, they had to be on some same-sex loving thing. They had to be. Because you didn't raise your daughters and tell them none of the real. You didn't raise them to know anything. Your daughters and your granddaughters are out here, they're getting degrees, they're becoming accomplished, and yet the other part of feminism, the kind of ugly part where you're the primary breadwinner, where you're the ones who make, men pay for where they live. Yeah, maybe the women are paying the mortgage on in this scenario. Yikes. Maybe, right? If you want the really big home and you're the primary breadwinner by a couple $100,000, guess who might be paying that mortgage? Right? That's unfortunate. And thank you for the super chat, Victor Creed. And Victor Creed says, the truly sad part about this conversation is they always end up settling. They pretend they have these standards, but most of them will settle. If it's for a man, a toy or a stud, it's only a matter of time. And you're right. You're right. They often do settle. And I find it interesting how the men that they're with then rationalize it, and then them themselves how they rationalize it. Right? That's always the interesting part. Right? Like if you see Miss Ebony K Williams, if you see this clip as a man 5 years from now, let's say we see her pop up with a dude 5 years from now, right? It's a younger dude by a couple years and he earns significantly less than her, but she's telling you, oh, I'm in love and I love him and he proposed to me and it was so beautiful. And y'all know how they be sounding on TV, right? And we're all thinking, yeah, she's subtle. She found her, good looking young man, chisel chin Tyrone, like I said, with the six pack, a couple of years younger than her, working her out real good. You know what I'm saying? But we know what that is. And he saw this clip and he ignored it. And she said this clearly, but all of a sudden, no, I found love, and I I said that back then, and I've evolved, and he helped me to see differently, and blah blah blah. Yeah, that's it. Right? Yeah, that's it. Oh boy, timekeeper, you asking me for advice? Look, I suck at this. No, no, and to your question, I'll give you the best advice I can give. Let me state your question. Um, and timekeeper asks, what do you recommend young single men who may want something serious do, like 25, 30 range? And I'm guessing you're saying your age. And you made the correction, so let's read with the correction. So you said, what do you recommend young single men do who may want something serious, like 25, 30 range? Um, to be 100 with you, I say stay open. I say be prepared to be heartbroken, right? I'm not about being guarded because I don't think you fully experience real love and intimacy and just a real connection with a person when you're guarded. But you have to know when you're open, that also comes with potentially getting hurt. You have to learn how to get hurt, right? You have to learn how to get hurt and bounce back. And then, set a certain limit of how much you're willing to spend on a date and date. And see what you're open to, right? We have our own standards in the overall Black manosphere, but you see what fits you. Maybe the woman that for you may be a couple of pounds bigger than maybe what we're talking about, right? Or she might be a little bit taller than what we're talking about, or a little bit shorter than what we're talking about, right? Maybe you could deal with just a little bit more snark than the rest of us, right? Or when we meet your girlfriend, she might be mute. We're like, bruh, timekeeper, your girl talk, right? But you only realize that when you're out here dating and when you're willing to potentially get played out of your little $40, $50 that you went on date with, right? Set whatever that limit is, almost a hard stop. And I say almost, it depends. Sometimes you're going to go off by a couple dollars and date, right? And exactly that part, no. And exactly. And Victor Creed says, timekeeper, don't allow her to break you mentally. That part, no. Right? But you got to get your feelings hurt a little bit. It's going to happen. You're going to get stood up sometimes. Sometimes you got to run into the foodie call. Right? I don't know any man that was in the dating scene that didn't have that happen. White, Black, Latino, Asian, or otherwise. That's just going to happen. That's just a cost of doing business. Right? If we start racking up the points when it comes to that, women are killing men on the points. Right? But that just comes with the territory. And just enjoy your life. Enjoy your life. And shout out to the Roger Report. Like the Roger Report say, you invite her out to enjoy your company. You want to go to a restaurant and she's coming along with. Right? You wanted to try this new place anyway, and you're inviting her to come with you to enjoy it with you. Right? And there you go. That's my best advice. And you stay open to finding someone that's a cool person that you get along with. Y'all got a vibe, and whether it's the opposites attract situation for you, or y'all have similar interests. Once y'all click, right? But all the other, like, people be having advice, but people's relationship dynamics are so varying, and I don't know about no, it got to be like this, and if it ain't like this, yeah, I don't know about doing that. But the one thing I will say, Victor Creed is 100% right with this right here. Don't allow her to break you mentally. That one, don't allow. Right? I'm 100% with Victor on that one. And Victor Creed also says, and thank you for the super chat again, brother. And Victor Creed says, from what I've seen, the men just go with the flow, unfortunately, until she holds his living arrangements over him. Woo. I'm just saying. Hey, remember, Victor Creed was the brother that told y'all, check y'all ladies' social media. Right? Vic, I ain't never going to forget that. That was great advice. That was great advice. Y'all over here checking her phone to see if she's cheating on you. Check her social media to see who she's subscribed to. If she subscribed to Chrissy, you might have a problem. If she subscribed to Paris, you might have a problem. If she subscribed to Yeti, you might have a problem. If she subscribed to Lexus Exodus or Mahogany Pink or Chris Logic and all these other people, hashtag Black woman, divested zealot, all that, you might have a problem, right? So Vic has some advice for y'all, you know. And okay, so that's the hour mark, bro. I didn't say I was gonna go 15 minutes ago. All right, everyone. So love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all have a great rest of y'all night. Um, thanks for the conversation. You know, once again, thank you, Vic, for the advice. Shout out to Medium Man for the for the clip. Um, I guess even in this, well, I'm gonna give a short shout out. Let's see how well the conversation was later on. Thank you, Kareem, for the clips, by the way. So also let's thank Kareem for putting them in the chat. Right. As a matter of fact, let me do this before I log off. Let me make sure that I have. Give me 1 second. Let's make sure before I get off that we have the info from Kareem before I stop the stream and I can't access it for until everything stops processing. Give me a second. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. Right. Okay, wait a minute. Let's make sure we're okay. So, okay. Well, my phone be doing its own things. Victor Creed said, "I speak from experience." And let me make sure to highlight this. Vic said, "Want to know what sort of woman she is? Pick active activities." Right. Vic said, "I speak from experience. This ain't no just random info." Right. Okay. So I clicked. Okay. So I got that from Kareem, and let me make sure I get the other clip. Give me 1 second, y'all. Just want to make sure we get all the info that Kareem has put down so that I could check this stuff out later. Right? Give me 1 second. All right. We got the Instagram stuff, the YouTube stuff. Thank you very much, Kareem. Right? Thank you again, Vic. Yeah. Vic be having Vic be having the wisdom for y'all, right? And so on that note, love, peace, and chicken grease. Let me see if I'm gonna eat. Well, I'm definitely gonna eat, but let's see. Let me hurry up and see if I'm gonna join Art's panel. In a little bit, I gotta go inside, shower, and eat, and everything like that. Um, yeah, and thank y'all for listening in. Right. Shout out once again to Medium Man. Um, shout out to Iana Van Zant. From what we can see so far, she tried to, try to give, Ebony something to think about, but Ebony's face, from what I could see so far, she ain't having it. Right. So, hey, and Jasanity said, need that Steve Harvey simp breakdown. I gotta watch the whole thing. Right. And there's so much to watch. Y'all don't understand. Look, shout out to everybody. Thank y'all for listening in and for listening to Mr. Z's perspective. I know obviously y'all don't agree with me on everything, but thank you for listening in. But when I tell y'all, between two jobs and you know and YouTube, and remember, I'm still a son and I'm still a boyfriend and I'm still a older brother and younger brother, right? So so juggling, well, hey, this juggling thing. Welcome to manhood, right? This juggling thing, hey, bro, it's crazy, right? So, give me a second. Give me a second with that. And I might, don't hold me to it. I'm going to try to, and maybe do a live stream and a panel tomorrow morning, but let's see. So, because I know I can't do it Sunday, so it might have to happen tomorrow, Saturday morning. So let's see with that. And on that note, we'll truly pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all have a great rest of y'all night. Go check out other non-manosphere content, please. So maybe y'all don't sound like Miss Ebony K Williams, Jesus Christ. And go check out other Black Manosphere content, like our new style is streaming right now. Don't I think I saw Keep It 100 is also streaming, I think. Or if he's not, he should be soon-ish, maybe, kind of. And on that note, we'll end it right there. Y'all have a great rest of y'all night, right? And thank you everyone for the super chats. Thank you for the wisdom. Thank you, Kareem. Thank you, Vic. Thank you, Gender War Lore, right? And everybody else. So on that note, we'll end it right there. Y'all have a great rest of y'all night. All right, everybody.